So I went to start this week's project and realized that I've donated so much stuff to the thrift store that I didn't really have anything in my own drawers or closet that I could use for it. And it's something I really want to do. So we're going to go to the thrift store. And in addition to donating the bags that are behind me, we are going to take a look and see if I can find what I need. I did so good in there. I'm so happy. I found exactly what I was looking for. And of course, a little bit more. And I only spent, hold on, let me look, $17.66. They were having 50% off all clothes today. So that really helped me stay way under budget. So can't wait to get home and show you what I got. All right, I made it home. Now, as a reminder, I had to go to get something for me to use for the video. And here is a picture of the cardigan. I'll show you. Here's a picture from the inside too. So it is called the Upscale Cardigan. That is what we are making this week. And so I went and I needed to find a cardigan. I just didn't have one in my drawer or my closet that would work. And I found something that worked just great. And I love the color. I love pink, and I absolutely love blue. So this is a perfect, nice, light knit cardigan, which will be perfect for spring, because this is definitely something I want to make to wear this spring. So I found my cardigan, and since I kind of knew, like, I have a color palette in mind of, what I want to use. I found this shirt. This shirt was almost right next to the cardigan. And I think that's why my eyes got drawn to that cardigan. Here it is. It looks really bright on screen. It's actually like sort of a light buttery kind of yellow, very pastel. And the reason I wanted this to go underneath it is because a friend of mine who is making Space Thrift, Natalie, when I had placed an order a while back, I can't remember what happened. Anyway, she sent me a little gift to go along with it, a nice little note. And she had included these little yo-yos. She knows my style. She knows what I like. And I've been holding on to these, waiting for just the right project. And so this is the perfect project. So I knew I needed some yellow. And I love, there we go, pastel blue and yellow together. So that's a couple of the things I got. So a shirt and a cardigan. And here we go. We'll go through everything that I got, and then we'll get started. Okay. Like, I found another pair of men's jeans. This time, instead of a dark wash, I found a lighter wash because, and what size are these? These are a 44-26. If you remember a few videos back, I took a pair of men's jeans and made a patchwork pinafore and said that I think I'd like to make a lighter one for the warmer months. That's what these are for. And then I went to the linen section. I always like to go just to see what they have. And I am the person that will buy the odds and ends. Things don't always have to have mates, because 9 times out of 10, what am I going to do? I'm going to cut it up into patches and use it. So this pillow sham did not have, I think it's a pillow sham. No, it's a curtain. It didn't have a mate. I'm not as big a fan of this part. It's okay. I might use it for something, but I liked the border off of the edge. And I thought that could work really well for some of my patchwork projects. So this will definitely be getting cut up into big squares. And then one napkin, clean, I don't know if it's ever been used. Whoever had it took good care of it to be used maybe like for some smaller patches, but he was the only one. He had no mates. And that I found this. This was an unusual buy. It's not that I plan on, well, I might cut it up. This is a very long table runner. I love the flowers. I love pink and green together. So this is perfect. And the fabric is really nice. I'm almost kind of thinking about making a market bag, a patchwork market bag with it. So it caught my eye. I had to get it. I think the linens, most of the linens I bought, they were $1 a piece. I just couldn't beat that. And then I found this one pillow sham. It did not have a mate, but I like the quilting on it. I like the colors. The back has some damage, but I'm not going to be using the backing anyway. But I will definitely be using the quilted parts. I'm not sure in what project yet. I have some ideas. That's why I bought it. Then I found 2 of these in the linen section. These are like valances, I guess. They're not full. Actually, no, they're not. You know what they are? They're king size pillow shams. Look, here's the back, the opening. And again, just fabric that I will cut up into squares and use. This is coming across, the background is not brown. It's, there you go. You can see it's not, it's more of a plum. It's not brown. But I'm trying to get some different patterns other than just dainty floral and checks, because I want to have some visual interest when I do my patchwork projects. Here's its mate. This one actually had a mate. So these will definitely get used after I wash them all, of course. And then what? Oh, here we go. Obviously in the women's clothing section. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with this other than just possibly wash it and wear it. I love this color. It's not coming across the screen well. It is a teal blue. Again, another cardigan. Maybe I'll doll it up. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I may add some stuff to it. I don't know. I love the color. And I love a great cardigan. And it's a really nice wool knit. So yeah, I just had to get this. All of the clothes today were 50% off, like I said earlier. And so I couldn't pass on this. I got this sweater. It would have been $2.50, I believe. Let me look at my receipt real quick. I need glasses for this. Let's see. Yeah, $2.50. I couldn't say no. I loved it. Oh, and here is the last item I got. I wasn't sure what this was when I first picked it up. I was like, is it a curtain? I thought it was maybe a tablecloth, but then as I was standing in line, it had this across the top. Turns out it's a shower curtain, and it's perfectly clean, in good shape. It's all eyelet. Let me see if I can get it up here. Eyelet lace. Yeah, you can just barely make it out. There we go. And I love using lace. I love eyelet. Some of this may end up being patches in my next pinafore, because I kind of have a vision in my head of what I want to do and how I'd want it to look and feel for probably for later spring and summer. So we'll see. But anyway, that was my haul, and it was $17.66 for all of that. I was really happy with it. So now that we've went through all of that, I'm going to go throw the cardigan and the shirt in the washer and dryer. I'm just going to do it on delicate, and we will get started on our project of making the upscale cardigan. Okay, so now I'm on to day 2. Yesterday I got everything together. Today, let's do our project. So I went through my stash last night, went through my button box. I haven't gone through my trims yet because I'm not sure what kind of trim I want to add. So let me show you everything that you could use for this project, and then we will get started. Okay, so obviously I've got my book, but we will set that aside. My cardigan, which, you know, I found for such a great price. Love the color. Got it washed up last night. If you notice in the book, or on the front of the book, she actually changed out the buttons on hers, which I thought about doing, but I actually like the buttons that are on here. They're, looks like brass with the blue enamel in the middle. So I actually don't want to change that. So to match that, this is a vintage sheet that I bought off Facebook Marketplace. Gosh, it was so inexpensive, but it's got the perfect blue accents, and then it adds some color, which I like. the yellow and some green and orange. I really like that. So I'll be using this for the ruffles on the sleeves and for some of the yo-yos that I will be adding to it. So then the next thing I did, let me pull up, I'm gonna be very careful so you can see. I went through my button box and I just found an assortment of buttons that coordinate well. There we go. And it's actually sitting on, this is a 4-inch round that my husband cut for me. And that is what I use to trace and make yo-yos. Now, my yo-yos are a little bit smaller. I could make them bigger, but I kind of like the idea of having 2 different sizes. These are the ones my friend gave me, and this is one of the ones I made last night. Isn't that cute? I will do another one on camera just so, well, I'll finish one on camera so you can kind of get an idea if you've never made one. They're really not hard. It's a great thing you can do when you're sitting around the evening if you're watching TV and you need to keep your hands busy. Making yo-yos is great. So the other thing you'll need, because we'll be doing a lot of hand sewing, so you're going to need some sewing needles and of course some thread. If you're not going to be adding the ruffles to the sleeves, which you don't have to, you won't even need a sewing machine for this. If you are going to add them, I do recommend having a sewing machine and sewing them on. You could do it by hand. Might take a little bit longer, but that's okay. Also, if you don't want to have to make ruffles, don't forget, you can always use lace or pick the ruffles off of a pillow sham that coordinates with your theme. It'll work perfect. All right, so let's get started. Okay, before we move on to anything else, let's talk about making the yo-yos. So like I said, this is a 4-inch round that I had my husband cut for me because I make yo-yos pretty often. But you could use anything you have that's round that would work. I wouldn't go any smaller than 4 inches in diameter. You could trace it out on cardboard, whatever you want. So that way you can trace as many as you want onto your fabric. So we'll set that there. Now, once I traced out my piece of fabric, I'm going to open this up just a little bit so you can see. Okay. So this is the start. I've gotten about, halfway, 3/4 of the way around. All you do, once you start, get your thread. Can you see my thread? You push down the top just a little bit. And you will continue to do that all the way around as you simply, whoops, let me get the thread out of the way. There we go. Go in and out, down and up. So all you're doing is you're gathering it. And after you go for a little while, pull it through. Once you get to the end, then you'll pull it all the way. So give me just a second. I'll be right back because I'm sure you don't want to see me do the rest of this. There's a ways to go. Okay, as you can see, now I'm at the end. Got all gathered up. I'm just going to pull it through. There we go. Now, we're going to turn it so that the fabric is now right side out. It looks like a little tiny basket like that. And then I actually put mine down on the table and I just hold it down with my hand in place and pull the thread. Careful, pull it tight, but be careful that you don't snap your thread because you'll have to start all over. Then I start giving a little bit of assistance. There we go, like that. Just give it a little assistance, flatten it out, just press it out a little bit. There we go. And yeah, there we are. So now you can see we have another little yo-yo like that. Now, you can stitch right here on the side if you want. Because you're going to need to do a slip knot so it doesn't come undone. So thread through, go through the loop, done. Sometimes just for a little extra, if I'm going to be using this, I'm going to be sewing it onto something. If I were going to be doing a yo-yo quilt, maybe I wouldn't do this. I don't know. I don't quilt. So I take my needle, whoops, and press all the way through to the back. And then I do that again, just so it stays nice and secure. You don't want it to come apart when you wash it. And so there you go. Now you have your yo-yo to put on your cardigan. Next thing I did was I cut out 2 long strips of fabric. This is, let's see, there's 24. So about 36 inches each one. I used my serger to finish the end. There we go. You don't have to use a serger. You can just zigzag the end if you want. This will be the part that I'll be sewing onto the sweater. So I didn't want it to, unravel or fray. So I cut this to be 5 inches wide. And then I folded up 1/4 inch twice and went ahead and just hemmed the bottom. And I did 2 of these. I don't know if I'm going to need all 36 inches. It depends on how ruffly I want the sleeve to be, But I figure it's better to have too much than not enough. So go ahead and cut. It'll be 36 by 5 inches. Zigzag across the top. And then across the bottom, turn it over to the wrong side. Turn it up 1/4 inch twice. And just put in a hem. And then meet me back here. And then we'll talk about how we're going to ruffle these. Okay, so I pulled out, this is, it was a gift from my mom. And so it has all these different feet for my machine. So I pulled out my shearing foot to make the ruffles for the sleeves. This one is not Madam So, but you can also check out Madam So. They make this exact series of foots, or feets. How do you want to put it? Feet for your machine. So, anyway, pulled out the shearing foot, and it made it so much easier to gather the ruffles for the sleeve. Now, if you don't have, obviously, a shearing foot, if you don't have this kit, although I do recommend it, it is really helpful. It's a lot faster than doing it the old school way. So, if you do not have a shearing foot, what you're going to do is take your needle and thread, put a little knot in the bottom. I'm not going to do all this by hand because I'm going to use my shearing foot to do this one as well. Very much like we did the yo-yo. Bring your needle up from underneath. And then by hand, you will simply go down and up, and you will continue to do that all the way across. Occasionally you will have to pull it through, pull your thread out, and you will slowly start gathering it. It's not bad. Like I said, this before I had a shearing foot, this is how I did it. It was not bad at all. There you go. There are other ways of doing it on a standard machine as well. But when you have something that's as small as, it's not very long, doing it by hand is not that taxing. Now, just so you can see how quick this is, I just wanted to show you real quick. Now, when you're using the shearing foot, you want a longer stitch. So I put my stitch up to 5, and then you want to dial your tension up. I have mine set at 8. So you want a long stitch and a higher tension, and then all you do is press on your pedal, and you can see it just start gathering everything up. You just need to feed it straight. And that's all you got to do. Okay, so here we are. We've got the ruffles on the sleeves. Once I try it on, I'll decide if I want my ruffle. Maybe I want my ruffle to be a little bit shorter. I'm not sure. I'll know better once I try it on. But that's an easy fix. It's just a matter of hemming it. Now, is on to the really fun part, which is the part I love. I love just doing, I mean, not that this isn't fun, the ruffles, but I really enjoy the decorative part, just making a plan and laying out the embellishments and where I want things to be. Now, just so you can kind of remember, you can see with, she also used some what she called woolen felt. Now, I didn't have any felt that coordinated with my project, so I'll look one more time, but I don't plan on doing any leaves. But I love how she made this one a sunflower in the center and then use the yo-yo. I think that's a great idea. And so the great thing about felt is it's so easy to just cut it out. She used embroidery thread down the middle and then just hand stitched it on. So definitely some ideas. She also used covered buttons, which I think is brilliant and a lot of fun. I didn't have a button kit for doing covered buttons. So I'm just going to lay mine out and just kind of see how things progress. So I think I might put this one here, one of those. And then I like to, with some of my buttons, is use those as the centers for yo-yos, because I think it really looks pretty. It helps them, they look even more like flowers. Isn't that pretty? And then I just put a couple more, like just random. So from here on, all you have to do is just lay it out and you hand sew everything in place. So once I get mine sewn on, I'll come back and show you the final product. You ready for the reveal? Here we go. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. It's so cute. I wish it was warmer. I'd wear it today. So I hope you enjoyed this week's project of making the upscaled cardigan. I had a good time making it. I also had learned a couple things along the way. I want to share this with you. So if you decide to make upscale cardigans for yourself or for your family member, maybe your child, couple things to keep in mind. One, think about the length of your ruffle. I ended up basically cutting mine in half from what I originally cut it out for, because I'm short. I have short arms. It looks lovely. The bigger ruffle looked really good on the young lady in the book, but it was just too long on me, and it kind of hit an odd place. So I ended up basically cutting it almost in half, which I think looks better on me. The other thing, this is the part that's really important. When attaching the ruffle, you're using woven fabric onto stretch fabric. Now, I was trying to be really, really careful, and I was using a stretch stitch to attach it, and I was really trying to be careful not to stretch out the sleeve, but I did. So if that happens to you, don't worry, and you don't have to pick all of it off and start over. All I did was I turned it inside out, and then I just took a small seam at an angle to the size that I wanted it to fit around my arm, and then I just, if you don't have a serger, I used my serger, and then I just followed up with the lightning stitch, which is like a narrow zigzag stitch, just to take it in. You could also do the same thing with just using a zigzag stitch. So anyway, you could definitely take it in if you need to. I had to, so I just wanted to share that bit of information with you. I love this idea, and it's a great way. This is a really fantastic book if you don't have it. I think you can still find it. I'm sure there's copies still out there, probably on Amazon, eBay, at different places like that. Goodreads is probably another one you can still find it. It's all the projects are fantastic ways of using up little scraps, and then sort of, if you look at it this way, take it as a make, do, and mend type of situation. Like, if you have a sweater, or maybe your daughter, let's say you have a little girl and she got ice cream on her shirt, and you've tried to get the stain out, but you can't. But it's a cute little sweater, and you're like, oh, I hate to have to just throw it out. This could be a great way to strategically put decorations and just make it a really pretty sweater and cover it. Keep it in the wardrobe a little bit longer. Make it, use fabrics that help coordinate with other things. I did that a couple of weeks ago. Remember when I did my St. Patty's Day shirt? I still don't know what it was that got all over the front of my shirt. It came out of the washer like that, and I could not get it out because I didn't see it before I put it in the dryer, so it was set. But by strategically placing my shamrocks across my shirt, I now have that back in my wardrobe. Granted, I won't be wearing it all year round, but I do have it to wear every year for St. Patrick's Day because I'm sure I will hold on to that for years. So thank you for joining me again this week. If you decide to make one of these upscale cardigans, find me on Instagram at Stacy So and tag me. I'm hoping one day somebody will do that because I love to see what other people make. Or if you do a video on here, send it to me. Let me know so I can watch. I love to support other creators and other artists on here, other sewists, knitters, crocheters. Now, next week, I've actually already started on the project for next week. It's not going to be a sew along or a how-to so much as it'll be probably more of a show and tell. And you'll see why. So it'll be probably a little bit shorter of a video, but I think you'll find it, I don't know, I hope you find it inspirational, but I hope you also just kind of take a look at it and go, hey, congratulations, because I do something in the video that I have never successfully done before. I'll go ahead and tell you what it is. I am terrible at making pants. I don't know why. I mean, it's just, I've never been good at it, but I finally did it. So I will have a show and tell with an outfit that I am working on for late spring, early summer. So everyone have a fabulous week. Thank you again for being here. I will see you again soon. And until then, happy sewing.